Lipstick tastes like Candyland. Sticky sweet, gummy pears. Mind if I sit on your lap? Can you handle that? A movie scene, I'm a thriller. Does my voice make you paralyzed? Can you handle that? at your window, hoping that you'll come up with some words to say. That's not okay. When you feel like you're fed up with heartbreak, and you know that you can't take another day. Well, that's not okay. We can never go back this road. You never go back that way. I see you standing in the corner like it's okay. Don't you know that you move with your body? Don't you know that you move with your body? We can never go back this road. You never go back Remember when you told me you believe in something and you said you're done pretending that fate is patient. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones. And be wild, 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 wild. Summer's end, and you feel that this is your beginning. Well, colors fade, but it's okay. There is good in changes. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go find a place where you can't be the victim. And come back when you're older. Go catch the storm within your broken bones. dysfunctional, but still inseparable. Yeah, we just never get it right. You're playing games with me and my sympathy, but not enough to say goodbye. Oh, 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 we stick together, but I know, oh, oh, it isn't for the better. No, that's just how we dance, with liquid confidence. We find each other every night. But if I were to let you go, if I would pack my bags and leave without you and be out there on my own, then I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. Oh, 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 I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. Oh, 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 I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. So here we go again with silly arguments that always end up in a fight. But we can still pretend that this will never end. We just make up and let it slide. Oh, 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 we stick together, but I know, oh, oh, it isn't for the better. No, that's just how we dance, with liquid confidence. We find each other every night. But if I were to let you go, if I would pack my bags and leave without you and be out there on my own, then I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. Oh, 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 I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. Oh, 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 I would fall into pieces, fall into pieces. This is Emily, hiding in the bungalow. She felt so young the night she was much younger than the other. Feeling like a prisoner there in the light. She stood, she knew they couldn't miss her. And then they took her as her, walked over life played. You're all to me, 'cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. She kept quiet, they kept beating her. They felt sad for her, but an order is an order. She was a prisoner there in the light. She stood, but she knew they couldn't break her. And by the shore, the bombs were falling with the snow. You're all to me, 'cause she wanted me. You're all to me, 'cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. This is Ellie. Wanted me. You're all to me, 'cause she wanted me. 'Cause she wanted me. This is Ellie. 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 This is Ellie.
Usual, Gleyber Torres in the right spot, makes a very difficult play. That's a little bit like the Javi Baez play where he tried to create space. That was a longer hop for him, gave him a better opportunity to do so. But he goes to that knee, spins around glove side, and fires a strike to Torque at first base. Very nicely done.
With that 2 away, Gleyber will bat, by the way, in the 9th inning. He's scheduled up third. First pitch is right there for a strike, splitting the plate to McLean. Tigers trailing 6-4, top of the 9th inning against Cincinnati. 0-1 coming. Hannafy slides home, and it's clipped foul by McLean. 0-2 on a slider.
And quite frankly, we may be looking at a guy who's going to be doing that in Brendan Hannafy. He's earned some leverage opportunities, done a nice job this year.
Everybody moves up a slot. 0-2, check swing, ball high, 1-2. And it's not, it's not like an order, right? It's not a list, but you do move into different positions.
100%.
Ball and 2 strikes on McLean. 6-4 is Cincinnati. Hannafy rocks into his pitch, and it's swung on, chopped up the middle into center. A base hit through the infield and kicking some grass all the way through for McLean's second hit of the day.
Brandon Hannafy gets a boatload of ground balls with that power sinker he throws. Some of them find holes, and that was one of them off the bat of Matt McLean right there. But he's going to keep firing those sinkers in and hopefully getting ground balls. That's what he does.
He's going to try and do it against Ellie De La Cruz, who for a living tortures fastballs.
And he just got the ultimate sign of respect in an opposing ballpark.
He got booed. Yeah, he did. He bats lefty. First pitch. Swinging a slice into left field. Riley Green turns tail, heads back, and that ball is up and out for Ellie De La Cruz. Just an absolute clothesline out of here. Opposite field, 2-run homer. 8-4 is Cincinnati in the 9th.
We told you this guy was good. We told you this guy was an emerging superstar. We told you this guy was better right-handed. And we just saw all of that on display. Right there, Ellie De La Cruz gets a fastball, a sinking fastball, down and away from 96 miles an hour, and hits an absolute laser beam off the little Caesar sign in between the bullpens in left field. That is hard to hit a ball that far on that kind of line, and he did it.
He is a truly once-in-a-lifetime talent, and out of the box he was sprinting. I don't know that he knew he got it. which is terrifying. First
Right.
pitch down and away to Stevenson, ball one. I mean, if he's that strong that he's not sure whether or not he laid waste to a piece of cowhide,
Oof.
I don't know how you pitch to him, as the 1-0 misses 2-0 on Stevenson. This Cincinnati team, 36-35. They entered play today 7 off the pace in the NL Central. 2-0, grounded wide of third and foul, 2-1.
We told you everything that this Cincinnati Reds team, they do offensively. Ellie De La Cruz is in the middle of it. On board 3 times a day, hits the homer right there.
2-1. Fouled away right side, 2-2. I mean, we saw it yesterday with his arm. That cut throw chopped down a possible first run of the game for the Tigers and flipped the way the game went.
And again, the anatomy of that play, he went out to get that ball. That is not usually a ball the shortstop gets from the right fielder.
2-2, check swing and a slider low in the dirt. Strike 3, he went around. Stevenson gets rung up. But Cincinnati creates some space with Ellie De La Cruz, who is just a seismic baseball player for Cincinnati. 8-4 after 8.5 on the home of Detroit Tigers baseball, presented by Meyer.
Style or substance. Somehow it became.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
Who is a more classic fastball slider right-hander than Pagan with the splitter that he mixes in.
Yeah, we saw him yesterday too. Clean inning for Santillan. But you're right. It's power fastball, 96 miles an hour. He'll cruise about 60% with that four-seamer. Fastball slider.
He'll face Parker Meadows first. Parker is 0 for 3. A bunt out last time, a ground ball to first, and a strikeout. Santillan, with the glove covering his chin, steps into his first throw of the game, and that is downstairs. It's ball one on a fastball. If there was anything extremely Tigerish that could happen in this ninth inning, it would be some version of a comeback.
Absolutely.
1-0. Downstairs 2-0.
Colt Keith is at the dish. Grab the bat.
Yeah, pardon me. Colt Keith in for Parker Meadows here. 2-0 for Keith. 2 balls, no strikes. Keith on. Carpenter to follow. Torres after. (2-0). Keith fouls it away left side. 2-1.
Colt Keith putting together a nice little run here. You see the average creeping up a little bit. Still searching for a little more power, but that's okay.
Just got to get on base here.
Yep.
2-1 from Santillan. It's called a strike off the outside corner. That was the least strike-ish strike called today by Lance Barrett.
Yeah. Lance Barrett's been pretty good all day. That was 2 balls outside. I'm like you, though. I mean, if you have the challenge system, you can erase some of those really big, egregious misses.
Mm-hmm. And it takes the angst out of it, you know?
Yes.
2-2 to Keith. It's downstairs. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Colt. Leading off the 9th, Carpenter to follow, Torres after, then Riley Green. He would be the tying run. Three and 2. That's a dart up the middle to shortstop. McLean is there to throw to first for out number 1. That was a pond skipper right at the shortstop who was shading towards second.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that swing from Colt Keith right there. Only problem was there was a Cincinnati Reds player in the form of Matt McLean right there to glove that ball and fire it on to first base. That ball was scalded.
One down for Carpenter. First one is called a strike. Bottom of the zone, 0-1 from Santillan. The Tigers had the lead in this game after 7 innings. It was 4-2. Cincinnati 4 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th. 0-1, check swing. He didn't go. 1-1.
Yeah, it was interesting. We were talking about the game early on. It was kind of like a malaise to the game. It wasn't really a good vibe. Not that, the ballpark was full and everything, but then all of a sudden, boom, it happened. Then it turned the other way.
1-1, wave and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's a sellout. It was a great crowd.
Yeah.
And the Reds did everything to take a pin to that balloon.
They did. You got to credit them.
1-2 coming. In there, strike 3. Santillan dots the corner.
Yeah, that was a fastball down and away from Kerry Carpenter. Clearly looking slider right there. Got the heater. Once that happens and it's located, nothing you can do about that.
Two down, Gleyber Torres. Right on right, Santillan from the high set. Comes home. Torres fouls it away in the air, 0-1. Tigers have the off day tomorrow. Then Pittsburgh is in for 3 at Tampa, and then 3 against the Athletics before Minnesota visits. 0-1 to Torres. That's a strike, 0-2.
It's an interesting little stretch coming up for the boys with the Old English D.
We'll see what we hear post-game about Will Vest as the 0-2 is swung on, lace to left. That's down for a hit in front of an oncoming Spencer Steer. Torres on base for the 4th time today, and you might as well make it tough while you're at it before Cincinnati leaves town.
Absolutely. Give them a finish. Nothing wrong with that.
Before Riley Green steps in, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network, presented by Meyer. Riley Green stands in. Santillan glance toward first and Torres. The first pitch to Green is up and out, ball 1. How about like a couple of walks and then a grand slam?
I'm in for it, partner.
Just saying.
I am. I'm in for that.
1 ball, no strikes from Santillan to Green. Torres takes off. Pitch is fouled back to the middle of the screen, 1-1.
Trying to eliminate the force right there with Gleyber taking off.
1 ball, 1 strike. He'll hold this time, and the pitch is outside. 2-1 from Santillan to Green. Tigers trailing 8-4, 2 out in the bottom of the 9th. Santillan. Gleyber Torres runs from first, kind of. It's fouled away, 2-2. Gleyber was like walking around like he was about to steal from the bank.
I'm telling you, it's so funny. And I had this discussion with a buddy of mine who coaches in another organization, but it's just such an odd feeling when it's this situation. No one's holding you. You need to take off just to eliminate the force play. It's just, you just feel weird out there doing it.
He'll hold this time. 2-2, winds outside. 3-2 for Riley Green. Santillan hoping to finish this game. The Tigers trying to make it sting a little bit. 8-4 Cincinnati. Santillan set at the belt. Green at the plate. 3-2. Torres runs. That is called strike 3. It was a little off the zone. It is called strike 3, and the Tigers will lose a series for the first time since Cleveland was in here in May. Final score 8-4 Cincinnati in the finale. And we'll see what we hear post-game from A.J. Hinch about Will Vest, but a really tough loss on this Sunday afternoon, Bobby.
It is. It's a tough loss. You don't want to lose series. It's not the end of the world. But more to your point, we don't know what's going on with Will Vest. We're going to get more certainly post-game, at least a preliminary indication, hopefully, of what's going on. But again, look, you lose a series, you're at home, no big deal. You got to flush this one. You got an off day. You got to rebound because you got a tough Pirates squad. The record isn't great, but they're playing a little bit better baseball under interim manager Don Kelly. You got to take care of business on Tuesday.
Tigers will try to do that when the Pirates are in town. Post-game follows this. You're listening to the Detroit Tigers Radio Network, presented by Meyer.
At Comerica Bank.
Over the visiting Angels. Thanks for coming alongside. Ryan Leshko back at baseball control. Reese Levin behind us. Next to Jeff Arnold, I'm Ben Wagner. It'll be Gunnar Henderson, Ramon Laureano, and Gary Sanchez against Yusei Kikuchi. The pitch to Allen's son. Gunnar swings and taps it off into the glove for strike 1. Gunnar today has had a really nice day at the plate. A single up the middle. and then a hustle double in the 4th inning. The pitch. Anderson lobs it out of play beyond the third base dugout. Gunnar collected his 13th double of the year starting off the 4th inning, and then came in on Ramon Laureano's RBI base hit to left. Taylor Ward kind of slow played that ball out in left field, and Buck Britton, realizing from the third base coach's box, aggressively sent Gunnar Henderson towards the plate. Not only did Ward just kind of stand flat-footed as that ball went into left, he threw the ball to second. 0-2. And did he offer? Oh, whoa. That is called by the home plate umpire, Nestor Ceja, for going around, and Gunnar is left in disbelief in the left-handed batter's box. He can't believe that he got rung up. Here comes Tony Mansolino off the top step of the dugout onto the warning track, defending his all-star shortstop. The Orioles do not like that sequence at all. Henderson was tied up on the pitch from Kikuchi, tried to hold his swing back, held back maybe, but the fact that it was such a demonstrative strike 3 call from the umpire behind the plate, not the third base umpire, Orioles took exception. Tough way for out number 1. Change up floats over on Ramon Laureano for strike 1. Henderson's got it rolling, and you don't like to see the bat taken out of a hitter's hands. 0-1. Fouled away third base side. No balls and 2 strikes on Laureano.
Especially one that's that close. I mean, the Angels actually had something go against them with Nolan Shonowell on Friday night. And, you know, James Jean, he's down there, and you can ask him, but I don't know. To me, that was one that I'm definitely asking if I'm the home plate umpire.
0-2's high and away.
And I'm not just saying that because, you know, we're on the Orioles broadcast team here, but seriously, it was one that, you know, it's up and in. You know, the umpire is set up in that spot on the inside part of the plate. There's a lot going on that pitch, so I figured they would ask.
1-2. That swoops in for a called strike. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kikuchi here in the 6th inning. Kikuchi's had a nice day at the plate, racking up the punch-outs. And, you know, he's got lively stuff. And all of a sudden, you look up at the scoreboard, you realize you might only have a couple of hits, you might only have a couple of runs, but Kikuchi all of a sudden is into double figures in the strikeout department. He's got 10. Here's Gary Sanchez, 2-time girl dad. Sanchez takes the fastball inside. 0 for 2 today. Fly ball to center and bounced into a double play. The 1-0. Curve ball runs across the top bar of the zone for a called strike. Infield back, Rengifo shaded towards the middle, expecting Sanchez to pull. The 1-1. Sanchez beats the shift, punches it through the right side, a base hit. And the Orioles have 2-out traffic against lefty Kikuchi. Out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Navy Football. Season tickets are on sale now, featuring 6 home games, and it starts August 30th against VMI. Experience the pageantry of Navy football. Tickets are available at navysports.com. Next opponent for the Orioles will be in Tampa. The Rays are trying to knock off the weekend series against the New York Mets, and they've got a 4-0 jump in Flushing. Taj Bradley's on the bump, pitching for the Rays today. Sanchez stands at first with a short lead as Cedric Mullins looks out. Squares bunt, third base side, springing from the bump. Kikuchi's got it, fires it up the right field line. That ball's going deep into the right field corner. Sanchez hits the bag at third. They want to send it to the plate. Gary's rumbling to the dish. He's going to score. Mullins ends up at third. Wow, what a play for the Orioles, who take a 4-2 lead. Running on contact with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Mullins trying to sneak his way aboard. Comes up with a massive play on the errant throw by Kikuchi. A great athlete. Gold Glove caliber defense let a throw sail on him. Wild away from first, off the tarp, banging its way up the right field line. And Sanchez chugging down the line like a steaming locomotive comes in to score. And it's 4-3 Orioles here in the 6th inning. Get a drink, Gary. You can even use the hydration station after that trot around the bases.
I was going to say, is there an oxygen tank available someplace?
He was leaking oil coming around the pads. What a way to earn a run. The cushion is a pair now for Baltimore. And that'll bring up Kobe Mayo. Down is a single for Mullins. He stands at third after the throwing error. And the Orioles pick up the tally. And a swing and a miss by Mayo for strike one. Working out of the line, good speed at third. Kikuchi peeks back over his right shoulder, now to the plate. Fastball is low on Mayo, 1 ball and 1 strike. Mayo's bounced out and walked. The pitch. Kobe swings and drives it towards the gap out of left center field. Ward reaches out. That ball's by him all the way to the wall. Mayo strolls into second base with a ringing double. His 3rd double of the season. His 2nd Major League RBI. And the Orioles have tallied twice here in the 6th and have a 5-2 lead over the Halos. Orioles continue to make Los Angeles pay for that errant throw. Kobe Mayo delivers. 3 straight have reached here in the 6th inning, and Ron Washington is out of the dugout to make a pitching change as the Orioles knock out Yusei Kikuchi. He's fan 10 today, but don't let that lopsided total fool you. The lefty is on the hook. It's a 5-2 Oriole lead, and this call to the bullpen is being brought to you by the loan experts at Point Breeze Credit Union, celebrating 90 years in your neighborhood.
Cupping home game at Oriole Park.
Connor Brogdon's aboard to come out of the bullpen for the Angels. Inherits a runner at second base. Dylan Carlson, the switch hitter, bats left. and takes a first pitch strike. We're at the bottom of the 6th inning. The Orioles have plated a pair. It's now a 5-2 lead for Baltimore. Angel right-handed reliever looks in at Carlson, who's 0 for 2 today. And he swings and he drives it straight away center field. It'll hang up for Adele through this murky afternoon in Baltimore. Adele handles the fly ball. 2 come in for the Orioles on Kobe Mayo's bullet past the left fielder. And the Orioles have a 5-2 lead.
Take a hack at guessing which baseball player or manager said the following.
I really don't know what to say. I'm just...
Soler and Travis d'Arnaud coming up to face the left-hander, Cade Povich, who has really settled in nicely, retiring the last 10 to come to the plate. Rocks and deals, and a first pitch fastball on the outside corner for a called strike 1 on Ward. The string started with a strikeout of Mike Trout back in the 3rd. And it has been thrifty work by Povich since. The pitch, swinging a foul back to our right. No balls and 2 strikes on Ward, who's plugged into that cleanup spot today. Now 5 for 16 this season against Orioles pitching. Stoic in the right-handed batter's box with a slightly open stance. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball's wasted up. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ward keeps his feet pretty much shoulder width apart. Opens up slightly, then lifts the left heel up where he's on the ball of his toes. The 1-2. Ground ball past the left side of the bump. It'll scoot through. A base hit. Ward snaps the string of 10 in a row retired by Povich. And the leadoff man's aboard here in the 7th inning, being brought to you by the Maryland Mortgage Program, 7 Steps to Home Ownership. Start your journey at mmp.maryland.gov. Jorge Soler, the batter. Line to right and struck out. Lefty deals. And a curveball in for a called strike 1. Nope, miss low. Miss low. The 1-0. Fouled away sharply, third base side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Povich in a light drizzle. Brings home the 1-1. That's very high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Now we've seen this kind of erratic release point from Povich a couple of times today, but he has been able to zero it back in. Goes to the backside of the bump. Maybe he slipped a little bit. It's, again, a very moist day. There's been a ton of wet weather. Well, no kidding, Ben. Move towards first base. It feels like every weekend has been wet.
Yes, it has.
Still a great Father's Day crowd looking out at those assembled here in downtown Baltimore. 2-1 pitch. That's outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here on this Father's Day afternoon, upper deck. shoehorned in, club level, rammed, lower level, all the way around. 360 degrees, plenty of busy activity. The 3-1 pitch, fouled back. And just as Povich starts to work on this at-bat with Soler, the wave starts to ripple from right to left, clockwise around the lower bowl. And picking up a little steam now to the club level. It'll die off as it goes to the home run porch. Well, you know the bird bath is in. 3-2. That's low. Ball 4. So the first two are aboard here in the 7th.
I think that's one of my dad's prouder moments. He claims, and many people claim this, I was the one who started the wave at a game. Many people will claim that. They'll say, I started the wave, and that's one of his favorite claims to make when we would go to the ballpark. You know, one game, I started the wave, and I'm like, you and probably another 15 people would claim that.
Going to have a pause in the action because Cooper, Larson, and Miller's dad is on the way to the mound. Drew French, the proud papa of 3. Cooper, Larson, and Miller. Orioles pitching coach in conversation with Cade Povich. Reaches up with his right arm, covers his mouth with his hand, and a lot of nodding going on by Povich. Gary Sanchez flanked off his left shoulder. Everybody on the diamond around. Drew French after a single and a walk. Now the huddle will break up. Do you have outside, your father starting the wave? Do you have this is